Long Islanders! Welcome back to CMM. Multiple breaking stories this morning, as mad cow disease has been ravaging the minds of drooling teens.
Also developing a propaganda video targeting government-funded programs helping the homeless has surfaced. This video has caused an outrage among program supporters and policymakers.
Now, before we get into the fascinating story, let's check in with the forecast for this week with Stormy Randalls. How are things looking, Stormy?
Thanks, guys. Now, I don't mean to incite panic, but Hurricane Donald has grown into a Category 5 and is barreling towards the island. Please take cover. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Stormy Randalls. Now back to our headlining story on the homeless epidemic. If you follow our news station, you know that for the past week we've been continuously reporting on the county programs developed to help the homeless population right here on Long Island.
Just to refresh your memory, let's go over the very important programs. Temporary housing assistance places families in shelters as work is done to help them with job training and placement, as well as finding permanent housing. Continuum of care identifies the most vulnerable as well as chronically homeless households. It then prioritizes permanent and supportive housing and assistance to prevent future homelessness. Also in correlations with these programs, the Department of Social Services does its best to insist and enforce.
As recently as 2016, homelessness affected roughly 4,000 people on Long Island. Women, children, and minorities are at a higher risk for falling into poverty. In fact, 25.8% of Latinos and 23% of African Americans, nearly double the percentage of white New Yorkers living in poverty, which is a mere 10.9%.
Now let's cut to Clive in her corner, where she is interviewing citizens to get their opinions on the county's provided programs for homelessness.
Clive's Corner.
Good evening, and welcome back to Clive's Corner. With me tonight is Gertrude. Tell us a bit about yourself.
Hi, I'm Gertrude. I'm 77 and I have 7 kids. Their names are Bobby, 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 and Dylan.
Wonderful. Have you seen the recent propaganda video targeting the homeless?
I have.
What are your thoughts?
I'm in support of it because I don't want my hard work money spent by the federal government. And I heard $4.1 trillion spent on homelessness programs.
Actually, the federal government only allows $3 billion, which is a mere 0.07% of that $4.1 trillion. Thank you for your time. Moving on to our next guest. Welcome back. Joining me now we have
Barbara Bieber, but you can call me BB.
So Barbara.
BB.
So BB, have you seen the propaganda video?
Yes, I have, and I'm very against it. These programs are really important.
Yes, Long Island is under a lot of pressure because Suffolk County has one of the highest homeless populations. We can both agree that these programs are necessary to alleviate homelessness.
Yep.
Thank you for joining me. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thank you, Clive, for those riveting interviews. Now on to another important act, McKinney-Vento.
Although the McKinney-Vento Act is a federal law, it is enforced right here in Suffolk County in school districts such as South Country, Longwood, and William Floyd.
The act aims to reduce barriers that have prevented many homeless youth from enrolling, attending, and succeeding in school.
We have kicked Clive out of her corner and onto the streets, where she will be asking pedestrians about their thoughts on McKinney-Vento.
Thanks, guys. We hit the streets to find some pedestrians and ask them their thoughts on the McKinney-Vento Act. Here's one now. Sir, what do you think about the McKinney-Vento Act?
Oh, I love it. I think it's great that the kids can continue to go to school where they originally did.
Thank you. Back to you guys.
Wow, that was great, Clive.
Join us after the break to talk about the mad cow disease and the drooling teens epidemic.